Hi Pisces, welcome to your end of August 2019 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. You know, it's funny, I just filmed almost a 20-minute reading for you. I almost feel like uploading that too, in case, you know, the first one is the one that's supposed to be the right one. But after I was done with your reading, I went back. Then I was going to go on to the next reading for another sign, and I had laid out the cards, and I noticed that there were two cards on the side, and I couldn't remember if that was present when I was doing your reading, because I didn't show all the cards. And so that's how seriously I take these readings. So I'm going to do your reading over again. And I just feel like if I'm going to do it, I have to do it right. So whatever that reading was, it's not the right one, I guess. So let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. So it's interesting because at the end of August, on the 30th, we have a new moon at 6 degrees of Virgo, and there are going to be other planets in Virgo in that same house, which for you, since Virgo is your opposite sign, Pisces, is the 7th house of committed partnership. Mars and Venus are there. You've got the sun, you've got the new moon. Is Mercury there? Not sure. Maybe. But anyway, and the heart of the matter is the Hermit card, which is connected to Virgo. So there you go. What does the Hermit represent? See the star inside the lantern? This is a card of introspection, looking for the inner light. You know, we can say that the Hermit is kind of like a monk, right? Somebody who is alone so that they can search their soul. They can do soul searching, introspection, self-inquiry. It's not being outside of yourself. It's going within. And why are you doing that? Is there a particular reason? Now, of course, this could be like you're focused on somebody who is a Virgo too. Why are you going within? The Tower. Some kind of shocking event which causes you to have to reevaluate your life. Now, it's important to know that if that card, the Tower, resonates with you, this is something that has already happened. That you're kind of like picking up the pieces, and that's what the Hermit represents. That you're like not wanting to necessarily socialize, not wanting to necessarily, you know, go out and party, or to call up your friends or anything like that, because you're feeling like you need to regroup at the very least. But the Tower, to me, is kind of like when there's a thunderstorm, and even though if it's like really a violent thunderstorm and it just is just completely loud and scary and everything else, when it's over with, it has purified the atmosphere. You feel the tension has released. The humidity has dropped. And that kind of thing. So if this is like an event, whether it's in the workplace, getting a pink slip, that you don't expect, or in your love life, somebody telling you they want out. Of course, it's going to be scary and shocking. But in the aftermath, you may breathe a sigh of relief because you may realize that it's for the best. That even though you didn't seek it out, that now the air is cleared and maybe you were like uneasy about the relationship or the job. That there was something you knew was not quite right, but you couldn't put your finger on it. The higher message is the Four of Cups. Now, I feel like there are two possible messages here. One of them could be that, see the clouds. To me, the clouds represent the universe, offering somebody a cup, which means, for me, love, affection. And if it's a job situation, we could even say like passion or, enthusiasm. Well, enthusiasm would be more like wands, but we'll just say a sense of like intuitive knowing that you're on the, alignment kind of a thing. And the person's expression is indifference. And what that says to me, Pisces, is that a person cannot receive love from anybody. It has to be the person that they can also love themselves in that kind of reciprocal way. Obviously, we can love, each other as human beings, but I'm talking about, romantic love. And so for some people, they may not understand that love has to be a two-way street. And yes, I think Pisces sometimes, unfortunately, doesn't realize that enough, that they must receive love just as well as they give it. And you are very self-sacrificial. So you may underplay the need to receive love and then feel like, a sense of lack. And so that might be it. So in other words, perhaps you were giving your affection away to the wrong person. Another thing can be that if, let's say, you got the pink slip from your job, you may not have admitted to yourself that you were unhappy there, or you just kind of brushed it off as unimportant. But really, what the cups represent to me is the emotional connection to a person, place, or thing. So with the Four of Cups, perhaps you were not emotionally connected to what you were doing, and therefore the universe made a way for you to not have to be in that situation anymore. It may not feel like a good thing, but ultimately it can be. It can be something that you look back on and you feel a sense of like, this was a great thing that happened, but I didn't know it at the time. What crosses you is the Ten of Pentacles, which is a card of, this is a card like in the upright position of like a legacy, of like generational wealth. It can be, I think of all the earth signs, it can be Capricorn, because Capricorn is Pentacles and 10th house. Capricorn rules that, but that's just my own, theory. But any case, as a challenge card, it might be that you were not being paid what you deserve to be paid. And that you couldn't build wealth where you were. So this is kind of releasing you so that you can get enough money so that you can like support yourself. Maybe this was, if this was a relationship, it wouldn't have been a good relationship to start a family with if that was something that you were thinking you were going to do, that this was the person. Because the Ten of Pentacles can even be like family wealth or something like that. In some cases, there may be something connected to that issue that has to do with their, you know, your partner's family of origin. If they come from wealth, that was somehow problematic for you. So an example would be that they are snobs, that they do not accept people into, and maybe that kind of like, if you're somebody who doesn't come from a higher socioeconomic background, the other person's family may have played more of a role in the demise of the relationship than you were aware of. And it's possible too that this person might be kind of like I don't know about a gold digger necessarily, but that they somehow were struggling financially and they couldn't see you. If you lost your job, then all of a sudden they were disinterested. I don't know like what the dynamics were, but something along those lines. What is coming in is represented by the Hierophant. Now that's funny because this card connects to Taurus, so here we have more Earth influence. But also, if we look at the Hermit, the Hierophant is more, to me, of the outer version of the spiritual quest, where it's more of the traditional religious structure. And you may be really thinking about that. Perhaps you're going to go back to your church that you grew up with, and maybe like you've had a wake-up call with the Tower where something has happened, and this doesn't have to be in a relationship. It could be even like a job loss where it has kind of shaken your foundation and you really want to, oh, you know what, the Ten of Pentacles can be like if you did lose your job and your family refuses to help you financially. But if you like feel this sense of being shaken to your core, you may seek some kind of religious comfort and perhaps even back to what you have known traditionally, because this is a very traditional card, the Hierophant. This is also a card of marriage. And so you may say to yourself, if you were living with somebody, you may like blame that for why the relationship failed and said, you know, next time I'm going to get married because the other person didn't take the relationship seriously because they thought we were just playing house. And I think that, you know, it's better to do things the old-fashioned way. That could be like how you process this, or you perceive how the situation went. You may feel like, in some cases, not that I necessarily think that this would be the truth, but you may perceive the Tower as some kind of a punishment for what you perceive as you not living within some kind of value system of whatever religion that you are familiar with, and that you are, you know, vowing to make amends for that, you know, religiously, whatever. And then the outcome is the Knight of Cups. This can be an offer that you receive, whether this is somebody, your knight in shining armor, a very sensitive young man. Young could be young in spirit, though, because sometimes if the knight represents somebody, maybe like over the age of 40 or something, the knight could be perceived as immature, but I would say that would be more the case if it was a reversed card. In the upright position, if the person is older than 40, and I'm kind of pushing it a little bit, it might be even younger that the knight is supposed to represent, but they may be somebody who is youthful in spirit. I would say particularly a Pisces, but this can be just some offer that you receive, or maybe an offer for a date, somebody who is a very sensitive person, an artist, and definitely your kind of person, but a job offer even. But this is going to be more from the heart. So going back to that Four of Cups, when I was talking about that disinterest in kind of like what you were doing, this may be more of the kind of thing that you feel like at a soul level. Maybe even like a career in the healing arts, which is right up your alley. Okay, Pisces, that's what I have for you. I hope that you receive something from this. If you would like a personal reading, please check me out at RenaMoonAstrology.com. The link to my online store is below. Take care. Bye.